over the weekend. Dana White says he's retired. You were the undisputed champion. How are you feeling a few days after?
I mean, to be honest, I would have rather fought for it, of course. I did defend the interim though, which is a weird thing as well. To be honest, I always saw myself as a champion anyway. I think the whole Jon Jones thing was a bit weird. I think everybody can see that was a bit of a strange situation. But luckily now that is in the past.
Tom Aspinall just snapped on Jon Jones. And this might be the start of the UFC's biggest heavyweight war in a wild Instagram live. Aspinall didn't hold back, calling out the legend directly. No face-offs, no history, just pure tension between the future and the GOAT. And with rumors swirling about a historic UFC showdown at the White House, this beef just went from cold to nuclear.
What a perfect time for Jon Jones to come out of retirement and fight Tom Aspinall at the White House next year for America's 250th birthday. What is more patriotic, what is more American than the best UFC fighter of all time, Jon Jones, fighting for the championship belt at the White House on America's 250th birthday? It's beautiful, it's poetic,
President Donald Trump just shook the combat sports world again. In a move straight out of a movie script, Trump publicly floated the idea of the UFC building an octagon on the White House lawn for a once-in-a-lifetime event in 2026, celebrating America's 250th year of independence. And guess who's already in the mix? Dana White, longtime friend and fight game kingpin, didn't hesitate. "I love it," he said, and when Dana gets that gleam in his eye, you know something's cooking behind the scenes. Now here's where it gets spicy. What started as political theater might be turning into a real fight card. Jon Jones, the controversial former champ and one of the greatest talents ever to grace the cage, seems to asterisk endorse the idea.
White House is crazy, dude. How's that even a thing? Is that allowed? Like, how is Donald even allowed to do that? Be kind of gangster, though. Chandler versus McGregor. Be kind of gangster. Aspinall. Jon Jones wants to fight on it. Classic. Back in the testing pool after 2 weeks. Bro is a troll and a half. He's not having his title back. That just can't be happening. All the ground trip.
And with Jones inching back into the drug testing pool, fans are buzzing. Is this the return of legacy? Drama? High stakes? If this happens, we're not just talking about a fight night, we're talking history. A setting unlike anything the sport has seen. And with rising names like Tom Aspinall in the wings, this could be the spark that lights the fuse for the biggest heavyweight collision. Jon Bones Jones may be retired on paper, but online, he just sends shockwaves through the fight world after a viral fan-made image surfaced, showing Jones knocking out Tom Aspinall inside the White House octagon. With none other than Donald Trump watching cage side, the former champ responded. Just 3 words he liked this, and that was enough to light the fuse. The image, created by AC Graphics, spread like wildfire across social media. Fans didn't just react, they rallied, flooding the comments with calls for the UFC to make it.
I would even say this, and I don't know if this is controversial or not, but I would say that Jon Jones ducked Tom Aspinall so hard that he went through self-destructive measures just to avoid a fight with this man. That's how good Tom Aspinall is. And everyone you're going to list off is going to get beat.
Happened. Too many. It wasn't just a meme. It was a message, a symbol of unfinished business, of legacy waiting to be sealed. Jones, who walked away after a dominant first-round submission over, but he hasn't been forgotten. His presence still looms over the heavyweight division like a shadow. And now, with rising force demanding respect and the world teasing a possible White House supercard, fans are asking writing his final chapter or tearing the book wide open. Let's not forget, Trump and Jones go back. From standing at the 2017 inauguration to their high-profile chat cage side in 2023.
As much as I love Tom and I want Tom to win, I couldn't pick against Jon Jones. I'll be honest, Tom's a friend. I love Tom. He's one of the coolest dudes in the whole of MMA. Even though Jones is getting old, I just can't pick against Jon Jones. I've been watching Jon Jones, as I say, since 2000.
There's real history here. And if the greatest of all time steps back into the octagon with the most controversial president watching live, we're not just talking about a comeback when it comes to spectacle. No one blends politics and prize fighting quite like Donald Trump. A regular face at UFC events and a longtime ally of Dana White, Trump has leveraged the fight game to rally fans who align with his vision, gritty, loud, and unapologetic.
It's the legacy. To be able to go to the heavyweight division, take out everyone, and then take out the Jon Jones legend, you know, and then go back to even beating a few of these new school guys, will literally put Tom Aspinall as the GOAT of the heavyweight division.
Apologetically bold. And now he's not just showing up ringside. He's floating the idea of bringing the octagon to the White House lawn. Sounds wild, maybe. But if there's any president with the ambition and connections to make it happen, it's Trump. And if there's any fight boss who'll ride shotgun through the chaos, it's Dana White. The same Dana who spoke at both of Trump's campaign conventions. The same Dana who built the UFC from underground blood sport to a billion-dollar empire. By leaning into risk, rivalry, and raw drama, this isn't just fantasy matchmaking, it's feasible. The stars are aligned.
Well, and the gap between Tom and the rest of the division is pretty freaking wide.
Yeah, and it's almost like John has something against Tom Aspinall. Like, he just wanted to completely ruin his life in every way possible, and he's doing a great job of it. And yeah, it puts Tom in a tough spot. Like you say, he's definitely the biggest loser of this whole thing. And yeah, it makes it difficult now for him to, like, where does...
And the players are known for pushing limits. If history's about moments, this could be one that fuses combat sports with American legacy like never before. Jon Jones' return won't be overnight, but the timeline tells a story. Under USADA guidelines, any fighter coming out of retirement must remain in the testing pool for 6 months before stepping back into action. Jones officially re-entered the pool in mid-2025, which means the earliest he can legally fight is January 2026, a date that lines with the rumored White House UFC event. If the UFC moves forward with Trump's audacious July 4th plans, Jones would be fully eligible, fully cleared, and possibly...
That would be beyond disappointing, actually, from a marketing standpoint, from a landscape of where the UFC is standpoint. That would be a complete pay-per-view disaster.
We'd see the strength of the UFC brand at Madison Square Garden if that ends up being, because all respect to Tom, but he has never headlined a pay-per-view, so plopping him at the top of Madison Square Garden against Cyril Gane, I think would be tough, but we'll see what they can do.
Man, that would be tough. I mean, you'd have to...
More motivated than ever asterisk to close his legendary career on the grandest stage imaginable. Tom Aspinall's rise to the top came fast and ruthless. In November 2023, he blasted through Sergey Pavlovich in the first round to claim the Interim heavyweight title, setting the stage for a long-awaited unification bout with Jon Jones. But that clash never came. Instead,
fans shouldn't even have to make a petition to strip Jon Jones of the belt. That just shows you how dumb the UFC matchmaking is, especially when it comes to Jon Jones and all the way that the UFC operates around Jon Jones. The way that Jon Jones has Dana and the organization by the nuts is...
Jones pivoted toward legacy, choosing to fight Type Miocic in what many believed would be his swan song. After submitting Miocic, Jones cast doubt on the division's future and stepped away, leaving fans and fighters wondering what was next. Not long after, the UFC named Aspinall the undisputed champion. But even with the belt around his waist, a cloud lingered. Critics and hardcore fans alike questioned, can you call yourself the king? If you've never dethroned the GOAT, Aspinall's response, calm, focused, and unapologetically honest. In an interview with Combat X, he dismissed the idea that Jones robbed him of his prime. For Aspinall, the journey is still unfolding. He believes his true peak lies ahead, possibly in his mid-30s, when experience, timing, and heavyweight power all collide. And if that collision happens to come with Jon Jones across the cagtum Aspinall is stuck in.
Say, no, you're not going to take this. And do you know what Jon Jones did? You have it. I don't want to fight. You can have it. This is unbelievable. The greatest of all time. What a load of shit. I'm sorry. Never going to call that him the GOAT. Ever again. Because being the greatest of all time is not just about winning. And that's what Jon Jones doesn't understand. It's about how you conduct yourself throughout the whole of your career. Are you willing to fight the biggest challenges, the biggest tests, go in there and...
Heavyweight limbo. And the gap between him and the rest of the division? It's massive. The British champ has dominated everyone in front of him, yet somehow, the fight that should have cemented his legacy, Jones versus Aspinall, never materialized. And that's left fans wondering, does it feel like Jon Jones is avoiding him? Some believe it's personal. Others say it's strategic. But whatever the reason, the impact on Aspinall is clear. He's become the biggest victim in this heavyweight saga.
Scared to fight you.
Yes.
Jon is conning the public. The fact that he didn't want to fight Ngannou for 3 years and now he's not wanting to fight me for over a year.
Is that fight fucking happening?
The UFC are saying that it's going to happen. I think it's down to him and Dana.
Dana loves Jon Jones.
He's trying to grease up his...
While Aspinall has handled the chaos with maturity and grace, the story surrounding him has been anything but calm since Francis Ngannou walked away from the UFC with the undisputed title. The division has felt like a spinning carousel. Jones swooped in, claimed the vacant strap.
Fight. I mean, we've been talking to this kid forever about it, and it's his fight. Listen, you can't make people fight. If Jon doesn't want to fight, can't make him fight. We can try to make him fight. We can throw things at him that inspire him to want to fight, but
and the narrative shifted instantly. Aspinall rose through that same chaos, proving himself while the top of the mountain remained locked away. Fans expected Jones versus Aspinall to settle it all, the final chapter in the heavyweight shakeup, but the fight never happened. Now both men are left with unfinished business. One holds the belt.